Now we move on to our next news. The U.S. is stepping into rising tensions between China and Japan. President Donald Trump has asked Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi to avoid further escalation with Beijing after her recent comments on Taiwan triggered the sharpest diplomatic clash in years. Takaichi has told Parliament that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could prompt Japanese military action, remarks that drew a furious response from Beijing and demands for a retraction. President Trump's request came right after his call with China's President Xi Jinping, who again stressed that Taiwan's return to China is central to Beijing's world vision, a claim firmly rejected by Taipei. While China's local media has urged Washington to rein in Japan, warning against any revival of militarism. Meanwhile, officials in Tokyo say only that Trump and Takaichi discussed U.S.-China relations. Now for this discussion, we welcome Dr. Tomohiko Taniguchi. He's a former advisor to late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, joins us live from Tokyo. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now,
Good to see you.
Thank you. Now, how do you see this escalating tensions between Japan and China and its U.S.'s role between them?
Well, Takaichi is not interested in further mentioning anything about Taiwan going forward because Prime Minister Takaichi merely was reactive when responded to the questions from the parliamentary floor. And she did not say that the military involvement in case of Taiwan contingency will be automatic. The Japanese legislative bill that passed the parliament under Shinzo Abe and made into law clearly stipulates when the United States and other allied forces are involved near Japan to the extent that it would pose a threat, very much a serious threat to Japan, Japan may exercise its right to defend Japan and its territory with the United States. It is not that Japan is going to defend Taiwan per se. It is Japan that is going to defend its allied powers, including the United States. That much has been well understood by the United States. So Mr. Trump may have wanted to convey what he had just heard from Xi Jinping to Takaichi, but I understand that the phone call between Trump and Takaichi was initiated by the Trump side, and it went very much friendly.
Right. And now going forward, how should Prime Minister Takaichi balance Japan's security concerns regarding Taiwan to avoid escalating tensions with China, or should she avoid escalating tensions with China?
Because she did not say anything further beyond what the Japanese law of national security says, she cannot back down, and she's not interested in making things worse. So things will go on as they have been for some time, but it'll calm down. And in the meantime, the Chinese side is disseminating fabricated messages that to say as if the Chinese citizens have been constantly attacked by the Japanese. This is the farthest from the truth.
And while U.S., as you shared that Takaichi and Trump's conversation was very friendly, does Washington risk being drawn too deeply into Japan-China regional conflict?
Well, the Japanese side did not say, if I may reiterate, that it would get involved in China-Taiwan military conflict. The Japanese may have to decide whether it should get involved in the conflict so long as the United States and its allied powers are involved in the conflict. So it's indirect. And that much, again, has been understood by the United States. And the Chinese do understand this because the law has been in place for years. And then they are flaring up this intentionally.
How do you think Taiwan should manage their stance now? As you know, we know that Taiwanese government is very supportive of Japanese stance, but China is merely acknowledging it.
Well, this is an important signal sent from Beijing to Taipei and people in Taiwan that if Taiwan, goes back and forth to the right, to the left, among the United States, Japan, and China, you will see lessons sent from the Chinese side. So it's part of the influence operation, in my view, aimed not only at Japanese citizens or the Japanese government, but also at the Taiwanese citizens to let them know who the master is. It is China. So that's the sort of messages that China, in my view, wants to send to the Taiwanese.
Right, and last week we know that Japan did have a missile deployment in Yonaguni Island. Looking at these reactions from China and Taiwan, what do you think this reveals about competing security priorities? And to what extent is Japan's these decisions, what do you think, is this a defensive measure or a perceived escalation?
Well, the escalation, it's common knowledge worldwide, has been conducted on the Chinese side. You're looking at the military that's grown 5 times, 6 times, 10 times as large as it used to be 10 years ago. And China is deploying the 3rd mega military aircraft carrier in the South China Sea and East China Sea. So Japan must respond. Listen, envelope has been pushed always from the Chinese side.
Right. Thank you for emphasizing that.